only thing I didn't have was the fresh cilantro. Apparently all of my cilantro died in the garden at some point.
The recipe that I'm using calls for 8 jalapenos seeded with the veins removed and chopped. I'm adding 8 cups of diced jalapenos in their entirety, seeds and all.
It's just so satisfying when you're able to get things put up in the pantry that not only I grew, but I grew it from seed, and then I was able to process it and turn it into something that we actually enjoy eating, and we don't have to buy it, and it's mostly organic, not completely, but hey, what's up? My name is Crystal. Welcome. I am in my kitchen. In this video, I am making fresh vegetable salsa. I make salsa pretty much every year, not necessarily the same recipes because I like to switch it up. And I'm pretty sure I've made this recipe a while ago. I don't think I've ever filmed it. It's been a while. The page in the book was quite clean, which is usually an indicator that it's either been a while since I've made it or I've never made it before. So the recipe I'm using is coming out of my trusty book here with the pages falling out, and it's on page 201. It is the fresh vegetable salsa. And I had all of the ingredients. The only thing I didn't have was the fresh cilantro. Apparently all of my cilantro died in the garden at some point. I did, in place of it, use parsley from our garden, Italian flat leaf parsley that we were growing. And it smelled good. I haven't tasted it yet. I do have a small jar. We're gonna be leaving for a camping trip today, so I have a small jar that I'm bringing to eat with some chips. I will have down in the description our Amazon affiliate links if you are interested in looking at any of the tools that I am using. I've said this a few times now, but oops. I don't really recommend buying the jars online. They're kind of expensive, like way overpriced. So usually you can find good deals on that stuff in the stores, and you can usually do drive up and they bring it up to your car for you. You don't even have to go in anymore, which is nice sometimes. Also, the timestamps. So if there's a certain spot that you're looking for, you can just click the timestamp and it will bring you right to that section of the video, and you don't have to wait or fast forward or look for it. Please remember to do all the YouTubey things and like, subscribe, and share. We really do appreciate it. And with all of that, let's get into making some salsa.
Okay, let's start with the canning supplies that I'm using. I have a bubble tool that measures headspace, canning funnel, and ladle, jar grippers, a water bath canner with a rack and a lid, canning jars. I'm using the regular mouth pint size jars, and regular mouth lids. Or if you're using wide mouth jars, just use wide mouth lids, and the bands that hold them in place. A large stock pot for cooking the salsa, a towel for the countertop, distilled white vinegar, and a lint-free cloth for cleaning the rims. The ingredients we're using to make the salsa today are 7 cups of chopped, cored, peeled tomatoes. The recipe that I'm using calls for 8 jalapenos seeded with the veins removed and chopped. I'm adding 8 cups of diced jalapenos in their entirety, seeds and all. We usually make the zesty salsa, and I wanted to use a lot of jalapenos. 2 cups of coarsely chopped onions, 1 cup chopped bell peppers, 3 cloves of finely chopped garlic, an 8-ounce can of tomato paste, 3/4 of a cup of vinegar, a half cup of loosely packed cilantro, except I didn't have any cilantro, so I used Italian flat leaf parsley, and a half teaspoon of ground cumin. To a large pot, I add the 7 cups of chopped tomatoes, 2 cups of onions, 1 cup of bell peppers, and my obnoxious 8 cups of jalapenos. Then the garlic, tomato paste, vinegar, parsley or cilantro if you have it, and cumin. Mix all of those tasty things together and bring the heat up to medium. stirring from the bottom up often to make sure that the salsa does not burn. As it starts to boil, I turn the heat down and set the timer for 30 minutes. Now I'm going to ladle the hot salsa into each jar, leaving a 1/2 inch of headspace, or the space between the salsa and the rim of the jar. Using the bubble tool, I remove any bubbles, check headspace again, then clean the rim with some distilled white vinegar and a lint-free cloth. It's important to make sure there isn't anything on the rim that will prevent the lid from sealing, even small fibers from a towel. So using a t-shirt rag or a flour sack towel can help prevent that problem. Center the lid of the jar on the rim and then put the band on the jar finger tight. Using just the tips of your fingers, twist the band on until resistance is met, then twist a little bit further. No need to really tighten the band down, it's just there to hold the lid in place during the canning process. Now I'm going to go ahead and fill the rest of the jars. Once the jars are done, they go into the water bath canner. There should be at least an inch of water over the tops of the jars. If unsure, using the bubble tool can help with checking. Bring the water in the water bath canner to a boil. Once it's boiling, make sure the lid is on and set the timer for 20 minutes. 8-ounce jars, and in our case pint-sized jars, the processing time is 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, remove the lid like a shield to prevent the steam from hitting you in the face. Then wait at least 5 minutes before removing the jars from the canner. This gives them some time to cool off slightly before trying to take them out of the canner. We're trying to prevent any shock to the glass jars that can cause them to crack or break. Then one by one, we remove the jars from the canner and place them on a towel to cool overnight before removing the bands, labeling the jars, and storing them in the pantry. Those turned out, and all I'm gonna do, I did this last night, so they've been sitting for a little bit. I'm gonna leave them on the counter for over the weekend because we're going away, so they'll be sitting here over the weekend. But that is how they look. It's just so satisfying when you're able to get things put up in the pantry that not only I grew, but I grew it from seed, and then I was able to process it and turn it into something that we actually enjoy eating, and we don't have to buy it, and it's mostly organic and not completely. They've been sitting since last night. I haven't made any labels for them yet on my label maker, but all I do is I remove the band and I check the seals. So you just do a little bit of that action and make sure that the top is pressed down. So that is how those jars look, and I'm really excited to have some more salsa in the pantry, a little bit different. I think last year we did zesty salsa. It was really spicy. This one I anticipate being spicy. It had 8 cups of jalapenos. If you don't want your salsa so spicy, you can either omit the hot peppers altogether, so you can just have sweet peppers, or if you like it a little spicy, you can remove everything that's inside of the jalapeno. So all of that white stuff, the seeds, all of it, take it out, and it will be less spicy than if you leave all that stuff in there. Steve and I prefer things on the spicy side, so we leave that in there. But that'll do it for this video. Thank you so much for being here with us today, and we will see you next time. Bye!